Hello and welcome to episode 89. Is it really 89? I can't believe that. That's madness. 89 blimmin' episodes, and that's excluding just the tips. When you include just the tips, that's well over 100. Well over 100 episodes. Madness. Anyway, today, I'm not fangirling. Well, I am partially fangirling over the amount of episodes we've recorded and hours and dedication we've put into this. The amount of hours D-Raj has had to listen through editing these podcasts, bless him. But today we want to talk about something which is probably, I think something we're very passionate about, and I genuinely think this has been the biggest unlocking key in our own entertainment businesses, both myself and Aidan's, TSM as well, other businesses out there, inside and outside of Magic. I think this has been the biggest eye-opener, the biggest thing that moves the needle, and it's the realization that you've got to stop working in your business. I don't mean stop actually doing all work, but I mean you've got to start working on it and actually working on the business rather than getting just trapped in the weeds and the day-to-day runnings, as our friend Ocelyn Netsley says.
Yeah, this is a really big thing. It's a really, really big nuance. Well, it's one the difference is one letter, I to an O, but that it changes the dynamic of what you're actually doing. When you're working in your business, it's doing all of the stuff. It's doing the marketing, doing the sales, doing the process, doing the lead gen, doing the nurture, doing everything. It's quite a busy time, and this is just on the business side of things. We're not even talking about the amount of time it takes to write a new show, prepare a new show, rehearse the material, or
travel
all of
to
that
the show.
stuff. Like everything. You do it all. And it means that it's very hard for any of us entertainers to actually focus on growth, next steps, going bigger, going better, actually improving what it is that we're doing, because we just don't have the time, energy, capacity, or the resources to do this. And there's a tool that we've been using. We kind of, I'll be honest, I don't even remember the time that we first made this an official thing for us at TSM. But we've been doing it.
It's a slow build up.
It's principles that we've kind of been pulling together. Now, what we're talking about is what we call the Mission X protocol, and the Mission X protocol, like the evolution from what I can remember. It's basically a weekly team meeting. Like, if you want to really boil it down, it's a weekly team meeting. If you work on your own as an entertainer, you're probably sat there thinking, oh, great, there's another wonderful piece of information that doesn't apply to me. No, you are your team. You for a lot of us, you are your only team in your entertainment business. So actually being able to focus on and improve that is so important. You've got to keep yourself accountable in these things. But that's kind of where it started. It was this routine opportunity every single week, same time every week, to sit and focus on the most important things in your entertainment business. Focus on a bunch of different things. We'll cover that, I'm sure, in this episode. But actually, before we get to the nitty gritty of what is the Mission X in terms of how do we do it, what some good best practices, what are we currently doing? I think that's an interesting way. Because we've never really taught this officially properly before. We've mentioned it in passing on podcasts and to some past clients and all of these kind of things, but we've never really gone to town and taught it. So before we do, what impact would you say that this one event has had on A, your personal entertainment business, and B, also adapting it for TSM?
Absolutely none.
There you go. In all
seriousness.
Here's another course you don't need.
Oh, wonderful. No, it's genuinely, this has been a game changer, eye-opening, and this is really, we speak about highest leverage tasks a lot on TSM and doing what's most important, and this is the highest leverage task. Like, so much so that this is a non-negotiable time to work on a business. It's not just Magic we do this in, we do it for TSM, we do it for other businesses outside. This is the most important thing, because it gives us an opportunity to find out and keep us on track. Like, we find out where we're currently at, what we're currently doing, what our trajectory is, what we're aiming for, we're able to start to build up plannings, make sure that we're on track with our plannings, make sure that we don't veer off course and there's any mistakes. Like you right now, you're all listening to this, there's entertainers, and we're in January, February, March, typically the time of the year that it's very empty for entertainers. When you have a meeting in to review the processes, review how things come in, you can make sure that you don't have an empty January, February, March, for example. You don't have an empty summer, Christmas. You're not too busy. You've not got any problems with events. You get the point. Like, you stop problems coming up. You're able to fix things. But that's not all of it. You're also able to plan and work and start designing on what you actually want to do. So you start to strive for things. This is why it's so important. And when you put that into place, just to put it into the context, which I think will be fresh in everyone's mind now of not having gigs in January, or having very few, it means that during Q4 of a year, like through October, November, December, you can start to assess every single week, okay, what is my future looking at? Have I taken my foot off the gas with lead gen? Do I need to focus on that to make sure January, February, March is filled up so that I've at least got some cash flow coming in? And it's that forward planning, the preparation, always being aware of how your business is running. That is what's going to set you up so that you don't have crippling months of no cash. That's what's going to set you up so that you don't have a lack of leads. You don't have a lack of shows. You know what's coming and you're able to prep for it and adjust where needed. So does that answer the question?
I think so. I think what's important is that because of the nature of our industry, it's traditionally interpreted as quite seasonal. In the back end of the year, we'll get an influx of gigs. First few months of the year will be naturally quieter, and then as summer picks up, it will go back up again, dip out towards the early part of winter, and then kick back up for the seasonal period. And as a result, that's just the way that gigs flow. Turns out that that's actually not the case. If anything, it is stable and consistent, just the client attitude towards it changes a little bit. Because think, if it's getting towards the back end of the year and you're having an office Christmas party and your office hasn't got the entertainment booked, suddenly the entertainment is top priority. Whereas middle of March, sorting your Christmas party out is probably not going to be on your radar. Or sorting your summer event out is not going to be on your radar. And so a lot of clients don't see booking entertainment as an urgent thing until it's urgent. Hence the seasonality. But we get to kill that completely and actually plot out our complete year and get our years actually nailed way ahead of time just by actually thinking about it way ahead of time. So, and again, to bring this back into context, this is all doable inside your Mission X protocol, your weekly meeting, to actually work out where you are, what's coming up, where your next steps are, how do we go from here, where do we go from here. All of this you can cover actually inside the protocol. Now, how do we actually go about this? Well, there's a bunch of different things. As you mentioned, Ashley, one of the big important things that we track is our numbers. Like, what sort of numbers are we looking at? Could you run us through some sort of some of the things that you track in, some of the things that you track in your entertainment business? Because I'm sure that there'll be some differences that we've not spoken about.
Yeah, let's start with the usual ones. Leads in. How many people are actually getting in touch or expressing interest in the conversations that we've been having, or inquiring via Instagram or messages or emailing? Like, how many people are you getting in? That's an obvious one. How many of those people are you actually converting? How much money are you making? And I also track residencies separately to my usual gigs. So I'm tracking the same thing on residencies, but how many people are getting in touch for, obviously, new residencies, and how my current residencies are going. Slightly different thing, but I just want to make sure everything's monitored with, like, that they're keeping up to book me one residency at least once a week, the other residency once a month, and the same for a new one which I'm getting up, just to make sure that that is that consistent thing over the long term. The other thing which I track, which I think will surprise a lot of people, is my sleep, because, as we've mentioned in the past, sleep is one of the most important things that if you want to be a better entertainer, if you want to have more energy, you want to have more enthusiasm, you want to be able to make better business decisions, just being healthier is one of the best things that you can do. So tracking sleep. Am I spending enough time in bed? Is my sleep quality good? Like, these are just some of the few things in which I track first of all.
It's really important stuff, and some of these metrics are really basic to track. Some of them are a little bit more complex. For example, I know that we both use the Aura rings. I think you can find out more about at aura.com, which is OURA. No, I think it's auraring.com. OURA ring RING.com. I highly recommend these. They're fairly expensive, like I think $400 or something like that.
Yeah, but they allow you to track it, and to keep an eye on that is you can't argue with that. You're investing into yourself and your life, and like it's worth so much more than just like the $400 that you're paying for it. Like it's game changer to be able to do this.
I think for me, it's I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think despite all of my purchases, my wonderful MacBook that we're recording this using right now, my Blue Yeti microphone, my mobile device, my previous cars that I've successfully destroyed,
or milk floats.
Milk floats I've also did. I didn't pay for those, but people did pay for the milk that just went everywhere and they never received in the morning. 1:30 in the morning, smashing into the back of a milk float, and basically just making an entire village smell of milk because it was all pouring into the drainage and it wasn't funny at the time, but now several years on, I have to laugh. That was actually coming back from a time that
I blame Peter Turner for that.
We'll leave it at that level of ambitious.
It was the reason why you crashed into a milk float.
Yeah, Peter Turner. We saw Peter Turner, and then I ruined people's cereal.
But no, you don't want to be tracking how many cars you hit. But
the point I was making is that despite all of the purchases I've ever made in my life, completely whatsoever, I would highly argue that the Aura Ring probably takes top spot, no questions asked, just because it's been that instrumental and that valuable to my overall life, my overall well-being, everything overall. So, and it just makes everything
making sure you stay on track. Well, it goes to that thing, you're taking an overview of your health to make sure that is it going in the right direction, yes or no, easy as that. But we can start to look at some more of the nitty-gritty stuff. Like, we can go further than that. Like, these are kind of the top level things we look at in a Mission X, but we start to go further and start looking into trends. For example, like when you don't get a booking, keeping that record of the objections that come up. How many objections do you get? What are the objections? And I'm not on about the, oh, yep, no, we've gone with someone else. Like, what is the specific reason? Like, actually digging, getting the true objection here and asking. And if you don't think, asking again till you get the right thing. You know, keeping a track of all of that. And then looking into trends. You're able to spot weak spots, maybe, in some of your process, following through clients, looking at the client delivery, like what is the process? Are there any leaking spots? Is there anything that I need to fix? You know, these are some of the more in-depth things we look at. And then even the specific details. What's my follow-up? Do I need to change my follow-up? Is there anything outdated with how I'm getting along? Like the people that I'm referring in my automated follow-up, are these suppliers still around? Are they still active? I don't want to be referring people, so it's keeping on top of that. And then on top of that, there's even more stuff that I look into. And like, this is more of the in-depth nitty-gritty stuff. But then there's things like, where am I with my current clients? One, I'm making sure that I'm not doing too many gigs, so keeping on track, like, okay, what gigs have I got coming up, just to get that awareness, and where is each and every single client? How are they getting along? When was the last time I spoke to them? What's the latest with these people? And that way I've got routine time to check in and just have an overview of every single record I keep in the CRM system of each client, each event. Where is it? What am I doing here? What haven't I done? What do I need to do? Just to make sure no mistakes and no slip-ups, because there's nothing worse than it's a week before the event and you go, yeah, John, what was the address again? And doing this just makes sure if there are any problems, you've dealt with it ahead of time.
Yeah, this is really important, and this probably sounds daunting for people that as I said, we've never really officially taught the true extent of the Mission X protocol anywhere. And it probably sounds like quite a lot, and it really isn't. Truth be told, you can get all of your trends, you can get all of your data points, your next steps, your planning, how to go forwards. You can work out where your clients are through your client pipeline and stuff. Like, realistically, a spreadsheet or two would probably cover all of the information you need in your Mission X protocol. It doesn't really take a lot of management. All you need to do is once a week plug in all your data and clearly see, like, here's the numbers, here's what you need to do to actually improve this specific bit. You've noticed that particularly you hopped on to 5 discovery calls this week, sales calls, for people that don't know, 5 discovery calls this week, and one of them converted. Well, that looks like you can have that pre-automated thing to pop up and say, yeah, that's below your average. You now know that, conversions and sales are a weak point. I should probably focus on making sure that that's a bit better. And it gives you granular, but it gives you so much bigger as well. And this is where we go back to saying it's all about working actually on your business. Because yes, it sounds like we're getting really picky and stupid over the numbers, but this is really important. And there's a reason that the big organizations of the world obsess over micro numbers, because it's the micro numbers that feed into the next numbers, and then the next numbers, and then the next numbers, and it all filters up through the individual's work to the team, to the department, to the group, to the organization, to the whatchamacallit, to the who'dumacallit, to the big top boss. The big boss can make the decisions as a result of doing and seeing all of the data points. So again, Mission X protocol here, it's actually using that time wisely. And I want to talk about routining this as well, because again, in terms of content, like we could teach this at some point if enough people are interested. And I tell you what, if you are actually interested in learning more about the Mission X protocol, head over to Instagram. Instagram's probably the best place for them to. Yeah, so head over to instagram.com/The Successful Mentalist, and drop us a message, or like a voice note or something. Just let us know that you'd be interested in finding out more about the Mission X protocol. If so, we'll do a webinar or web class, a training of some kind, actually helping you guys with this, because it's monumental. But anyway, I want to talk a little bit about routining Mission X, because this is probably the most important part. It's all well and good, and what you put in it can vary between person to person. But how and when you do it, that's crucial. So how and when should we do our Mission X protocol?
Well, we do it every single week at the routine times. And I'll be honest, you can do it at the end of the week, you can do it at the beginning of the week. This is entirely up to you of what you think's best. You need to fit it around what you've got, but you've got to bear in mind that it is a non-negotiable. Like, when you're working on a business, it's far more important than anything else. Like, this is the most important thing, so you really need to make sure that you don't have anything get in the way of this. So you've got to schedule it in and have a routine time. You don't want to be planning it in and just having it willy-nilly. You've got to, I can't stress that enough, have the exact time in there, the exact day every single week. Now, there are 2 ways in which you can do it. You can have it at the end of the week and have a nice assessor of how that week has gone and what you need to plan for the week coming and the week coming ahead. For example, Friday is a great way to do that. Or you're the Monday. The week's already gone by, the previous week's gone by. Great to assess it, and now you've started the new week. As soon as you finish that Mission X meeting, you can take action straight away and start the week. But it's entirely up to you. Ultimately, you just need to pick a date, set some time aside, and just do it routinely. And make sure that you don't push it around. Don't just go, you know what, I'll do it tomorrow instead. Like, working on your business is the most important thing. This is the highest level stuff you can do as a business owner. We're all business owners, and this is the highest level stuff. So it takes priority in your calendar.
100%. I know for me, I run two different variants of the Mission X. So we've obviously got the core Mission X protocol here at TSM. We do that at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, not on a Monday at all. 10 o'clock on a Friday morning, both of us and D-Raj, we hop on a call and we go through everything. We track our time, what that time has been allocated towards projects. We dive deep into making everything. We always ask ourselves as we're going through our time logs, our XDS time logs, as we're eliminating and delegating tasks and everything. We're always asking, is there anything that we can do to make this easier or unnecessary? Just because we want to get into the habit of trying to streamline our process and everything. But that's just another example of some level of depth that we can go to in the Mission X protocol. We block out 2 hours for that meeting. For me, I run a personal Mission X as well, which I basically check in with my overall personal life and professional life. I just do a deeper dive on myself, and I do that at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Reason being is I spend a lot of my time on Sundays. I call them strategy Sundays, because I spend a lot of my time in strategy mode, forecasting for the week ahead, reviewing the week previously. That tends to take more of a morning for me, just because there's a lot more variables at play. But again, the important point is that I show up and do it. And for whatever reason, if I can't do it on Sunday morning, I'll be sure as heck to get it done Sunday evening before I go to bed. It's just that it's crucial. It's so important. Without it, I don't think TSM would have grown to the extent that it has. Without it, I don't think my entertainment business would have grown anywhere. But because it's so easy to get trapped, right? It's trapped into the cycle of this is just another week, this is just another week, this is just another week. Like, heck, we're almost 100 weeks into the podcast. I can still remember setting up for the first one as clear as day, with my SpongeBob duvet hanging up on the side with about 400 blankets to try and soundproof the room. It was a nightmare.
I remember you sending that video to Timon Kraus. Hey man, we just started a podcast. I'm using a SpongeBob duvet to block the sound.
I can't.
That's what I remember.
I can't even remember his response, but I think it was something along the lines of, "Oh, cool." I reckon that was it. Just because he knew how ridiculous that was. If you are listening,
hello.
Thank you for not. And thank you for not making me feel like an idiot at that moment.
Even though you thought it.
Even though we knew it, we all knew it. But here's the thing: like, that was almost 100 weeks ago now, and the time flies literally just like that. And the same happens inside our entertainment business. The time does fly. It goes so quickly. So it's really important to slow down, do that deep dive, and do the reflection. And when we talk about, again, I want to just bring it back here, in terms of when we talk about forecasting for the year and the quarters and this, that, and the other, you don't do that every week. That's not the stuff that you look at every single week. You'll make sure you're on track for sure. But your weekly, your Mission X is really... Your average weekly Mission X is really designed to master the month. That's the key. At the end of the month, you can do spend a bit more time preparing for the next month, so that you can nail the quarter. And then once you nail the quarter, you're towards the year as well. But I don't want people implementing this thinking that every single week they have to sit and look at their big yearly goals and then chunk all the way and spend all the... Like, no. Now is a great time because it's January. Set out ahead and look at all of your weekly your goals for the year, and then every month start the month by breaking that down. What are the 4 main objectives that you want in each week that follow in the right order? Your Mission X protocol is: hey, did I do that first big goal? Yes, no. If yes, fantastic. Prepare for next week. Did I do big thing from week number 1? No. Crap. What? That's usually the situation. I don't know about you, but this is how I feel. Did I achieve that big thing that I set out to do? No. I'm now behind. This isn't.
But my response is, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But that's the point there, that you can sit and look and like, oh, okay, I didn't achieve that. Why? Dig deeper. Were there extra meetings? Were there lots of distractions? Did you not block out the right amount of time? Were the tasks going to take an awful lot longer than you expected? Have you just had a low energy week? Have you has your health taken a dip and that everything else has had to take a backseat? Like, you get really granular and specific on this so that you can A, make adjustments for the following week and keep on track, and B, well, you could spot these trends over an extended period of time. Like, look, oh, hang on a minute, I used to have massive energy dips after this type of event. There's another one coming up in a few weeks. I want to make sure that my work is not gonna derail, or there's nothing important going on then, just in case I have that energy dip. Like, you can get this stuff and you can find routines and stuff, and we joke about this a lot, but it's important. It's like we want ourselves to be walking, talking robots, in the sense of we just want to show up, know exactly what we're going to do everything completely, and then switch off. That's the way we want to be treating our entertainment businesses.
Easy as that.
I'd like to think it was easy, but the reality is, anybody who has ever done any form of work ever knows it's not that simple and not that straightforward. But again, it's one of those situations that the Mission X protocol will really keep you on track.
Yeah.
For that.
I think the biggest thing for me with making sure to set time aside to actually focus, and like, this is so much so that I'm like, in my calendar, I've set it so that I set time aside for various other things within like the entertainment biz, so that doesn't slip as well. Like, I've got the routine time to do that, but that's a conversation for another time, really. But setting time aside, for me, I can't stress it enough, just to stop problems arising or wasting my time dealing with crap that I don't realistically need to deal with. I remember when I first got into entertainment, this is back in the day when I was just the average magician doing the average wedding party, whatever it was, for the average fee. The problem for me was I was very unorganized, and as a byproduct, I found it difficult to deal with events, and it would be sometimes weeks before I got back to clients, sometimes weeks before I actually dealt with the events that I had coming up. It would be weeks before I actually started doing any sort of lead. Well, I mean, I didn't really do any lead gen. It just kind of went from, oh, it's been a month, I've not had anything in. Because I hadn't worked on it, because I hadn't assessed there was a problem. I just let it happen and let it fall out. And this is a big problem I see. Like, it wasn't just me like I sucked at that at the beginning. But I see this time and time again with every other single entertainer. And for me, setting that time aside just to look, okay, where am I right now? It's stopped all of that. Like, if there's a problem, it's dealt with ahead of time. At least for me, that's the biggest thing. There's no more mess ups. So there's no more, oh my gosh, I haven't dealt with this client for a month. If there is ever a problem like that and it's slipped the net, I forgot to set a task, as it is, human error, in the meetings I've gone, who's that? Oh, I better deal with them. Luckily, I've spotted it now before it becomes a problem. And that, for me, has been a huge, huge, huge godsend, lifesaver, to just stop anything from just getting out of control. That's really, really helped me with these routine meetings, just to check in, see where I am.
I think it's great because and again, I think one of the reasons we do this is that it's a great catch point, because if you only do this once a month, you only give yourself 12 opportunities to work on your business in any given year. If you do it quarterly, it's only 4 opportunities. But if you do it every week, that's 52 chances every single year, without fail, to track, monitor, improve, and catch any errors, to do all of this stuff. That's why we do it weekly. One thing that is really great to go alongside this is a little daily power down routine. So at the end of every day, just have a little power down session. We won't go into that now, but a little power down session to just double check, just make sure, are you on track? So that gives you a little bit of an opportunity. That gives you then 365 days of course correction in any given year, which is fantastic. Every day you do a little bit of course correction, but ultimately your Mission X each week can help you. You can turn that into your decision making time, so that through the week you're not going to make any tough decisions. You're not going to sit and worry. You're going to batch all of your decision making until the Mission X protocol. You're going to batch all of the specific sort of tasks, if you like, and leave it until your Mission X protocol, because that's when you're going to block out your calendar time and do it all in one go. Again, think your Mission X protocol is strategy and future thinking and reviewing and stuff. And for a lot of people, I think it's worth mentioning, like, if you're new to entertainment and you're getting started and all of that stuff, is this going to be the absolute nitty-gritty bare bones, you must get this done, otherwise you're screwed? No. I think new entertainers, I don't think they need this as much. But what is important is that if you are genuinely serious about making entertainment a thing, or even a part-time thing, and you want to actually get some gigs in, start building the Mission X protocol now because it does two things. One, it helps you build habits, and the more positive habits that you build, the more positive habits that you will build. And then the second thing, again, that's a really important point in and of itself. The second thing it does is it actually trains you to have that strategy time, whether that's in just your entertainment business or your life overall. Really important, getting that check-in time, actually spending the time to it's not, I was trying to think of the phrase there, it's not rest and digest, that's not the phrase I was after, but you get the point here. You actually get the opportunity to process everything and actually work out where you're going from there. But again, building those habits is really, really important now, so that when it comes down to, okay, I need to switch on a little bit more, I need to find some more data, you can build and add this over time. It's like a Lego set. So long as you've got that core little set right now, you can build your car. And you get another little bag of other little bricks, and then you can put that on, and suddenly you've got a sports car, and then you add a few more bricks onto that, and it's a sports car that flies, and then a few more onto that, and over time you'll be able to build the Millennium Falcon out of all the pieces that you've built. But you couldn't just jump in as a complete noob to Lego and build the Millennium Falcon. You just couldn't do that. Not without a lot of time, energy, resources, effort, chaos in the mix. So it's treat your entertainment business like you would a set of Legos.
There you go. The Lego Millennium Falcon is finally on the TSM podcast. But here's a viewpoint then. For the people listening to this, Aidan, now, thinking, I get why this is important. I understand that I'm setting this time aside. It's going to help me move the needle in terms of my entertainment biz. But they've listened to it and they've gone, 2 hours a week. On average, that's what, 2, 4, 6, 8, that's what, roughly 8 hours a month. And then if they have these personal strategy sessions, like 20 minutes a day, well, this is all going to be adding up. Like, what's that? A week? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Well, that's a lot of time. Like,
no, here's the thing. This stuff does add up, yes. However, and the reason it adds up, and the reason that it's not a problem, is because it gives you back time. Rather than working in the day-to-day stuff of, what am I going to do today? Oh, what do I need to do today? Oh, I should probably sort out my website. I should spend hours messing around. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do this. What else is on the to-do list? Oh, I should probably get that really big important thing done. But I'm going to pick the easy thing instead. You kill all of that. That's all gone. So that you are naturally just focusing on stuff that's going to win you back the time. You're no longer making those big decisions. You're no longer sat there thinking, what do I need to do at any given moment? Your time multiplies when you start implementing these practices. And it is like, yes, if you want to do this strategy sessions, the daily power downs, highly recommend that. 15, 20 minutes tops in any given day. Your Mission X protocol, yes, an hour, 2 hours. Yes, it does add up. But for me, spending that time, I earn at least double it back.
Well, there you go. And the reason why you earn it back is you're not faffing around. You're not putting all this extra thought processing, thinking, oh my gosh, where am I at? Having to double check each client.
It's the thing. It's like, and I'm gonna tie it to a story that's totally different, under a completely different context. But it applies here. It's like I think it was the story of the fisherman from the book The Alchemist. I think I can't recall it immediately.
I thought he was going to go biblical with us here.
There we go. No, but there's this concept that there's on this beach somewhere. A fisherman pulls up to the shore and he comes up onto the beach, and there's a businessman there. It says, how did you fishing go, etc., etc. I'm going to leave out the details because I'm not going to paint that story. But long story short, businessman asks the fisherman how did it go, and talks about life and stuff. And the fisherman says, fantastic. I caught a few fish, not many, but it was okay. And the businessman says, well, why didn't you? Well, you could get up early, go and catch loads of fish, and then you can come back to the market and make some more money. Fisherman says, why would I need money? So that you can get better equipment and then go out and catch more fish and come back and earn more money. And the fisherman says, why would I need even more money? And the businessman again says, well, so that you can hire a team or get a better boat and then get some deckhands, I think is the phrase for for fishermen, I don't know in that sense. But so you can go out and then catch more fish and come back and sell more on the market and make more money. And this goes on back and forward, back and forward. And the businessman said, well, you could do all of this so that you can then, like, retire and put your feet up and enjoy coming back out onto the beach and just having a nice, easy time on the beach and just relaxing. And the fisherman looks and says, like, well, is that not what I'm doing right now? And the point I'm making there of that butchered story is that the business person in this situation says, like, go out and do more, hustle and grind a bit, because then you can do it more and more and more and more and more and create this empire and this amazing thing, and then you can retire and be happy and do what you want. And the fisherman sat there like, well, I don't need to do any of that because I'm doing it right now. I'm quite happy right now. I'm quite happy in the here and now. And that for me is a semi-accurate description of the Mission X protocol. Yes, you do it every day. You stand on the beach with your fish and that's fine. But it stops you from going out, hustling, grinding, and spending years and years getting in the trenches, blowing yourself up, burning yourself out, going absolutely nuts. So that you can then live the life and lifestyle that you actually want to do. You can build that life and lifestyle business right now by using something like the Mission X protocol.
Oh yeah. Mic drop.
Butchered story, but we got there in the end.
No, I think this is really, profound stuff, and I generally urge each and every one of you right now, if you are serious with entertainment, I know some people listen to this podcast, it's a magic podcast, a bit of fun, people tune in to listen to magicians. If you just listen and magic's a hobby, that's fine. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed a story about fish. But if you are here genuinely interested in entertainment as a career, whether that's just a paid hobby that's alongside your day job, where it is hand in hand in your day job, you do both, or you want to actually just pursue full-time magic, whatever, genuinely lean in, because when you start working on the business as opposed to constantly 100% in it, everything will change for the better. I guarantee it. Everything.
100%. As we said earlier, if you want to reach out to us on Instagram, you'll find us literally by searching The Successful Mentalist. We are nice and original. Just instagram.com/The Successful Mentalist. Drop us a message and let us know that you are interested in finding out more about the Mission X protocol. And if we get enough people, and again, I say only if we get enough people, we'll put something together, some form of training webinar thing to actually help you guys get this implemented, because it is so important. But we'll only do that if we get enough people, otherwise we're just going to waste our time. That's not part of our Mission X protocol. So yes, drop us a message. Just say, just tell us you'd love to find out more about the Mission X protocol. Tell us our past selves sent us from the podcast, and we'll be able to hook you up with some details once it's ready.
There you go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Reach out if you're interested. And as always, you have a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, morning, night, or fishing on the beach. Whatever you're up to, whatever you're doing. We'll see you guys soon. You all take care.
Bye-bye.